After the hellhole that was 2016, at first it was looking like 2017 would be more of a transitional period and that music wouldn't be anything too crazy or even anything all that crazy good. But holy shit was that a wrong assumption, because this year was fucking fantastic. But obviously this video isn't me praising the year's great, it's me picking at the few dead fish in the ocean. And let me make this abundantly clear. There weren't that many songs in the running for this video. There were tons of picks from my 2016 worst list, where this year's contenders weren't all that bad. Don't get me wrong, there are still songs that piss me off to no end, but that cutoff is actually on this list opposed to 2016, where there were tens of songs I wanted to figure out how to punch in the face. So, let's not lollygag any further. To be eligible for this list, the song had to spend at least 2 weeks in the top 40 of the Hot 100. This way various album tracks aren't eligible for the lists. And note, this is just my own personal opinion. If you disagree, which you might, you can always comment your list in the comments, and if you think this video's shit, make your own. So, here we go. The top 10 worst hit songs of 2017. Number 10.
Are you ready for it?
Okay, normally you won't see ineligible songs make my worst lists. I personally think best lists are fine if A, the year lacked enough quality for you to even have a strong top 10 with eligible shit, and or B, the song was so mind-blowingly great that the fact it didn't take off is rage-inducing. But with worst lists, no, fry the fish you were given. But even then I have to make an exception here. Not just because the songs that were in the running for this were either too dull or lackluster to care about, which they were, but because of just how bad this is in particular. And it's from a band I really like, but I cannot forgive and forget. What the fuck, Fall Out Boy? Jesus Christ! Young and Menace more like loud and obnoxious. You all got mad when Linkin Park made a song with Kiara, but at least they didn't try to one-up her hit in annoyance levels. Like, listen to this! What the hell are they doing? Don't get me wrong, I love Fall Out Boy. They had some genuinely great songs before their breakup, and even post-breakup. They've offered real quality, and I'm happy they've stuck around this long. But this... no! I mean, in interviews, Pete Wentz talked about changing up the sound for the next album, but talk about putting your worst foot forward by using your elbow instead of your foot. Like, I'm all for trying new things, but can it at least sound good? This feels like Fall Out Boy were trying to follow the trends, but they just exploded due to a lack of knowledge. And by the sound of this song, that might literally be what happened. I like the intro and outro to the song, they're workable, but that's just thrown out the window due to this horrendous chunk of noise. And the amount of obnoxious pitch shifting only makes this even worse. And the lyrics to this are fucking weird. That's right, Patrick Stump, the frontman of this rock band, just quoted a Britney Spears song from 2000. Way to keep it relevant, guys. I'm highlighting this lyric just because of the genius annotation. Yep. Is it thinking that drop was usable? Listen, the lyrics are stupid and all, but let's not forget about the goddamn... This is gold chorus levels of obnoxious. In fact, I think this is worse. If this was eligible, it probably would have topped the damn list. And if it even charted at all, I probably would have justified putting it towards the top 5. But I'm already breaking my rules as is, so let's not go too far. But that's the thing. This never charted. And the follow-up tracks they've released since have failed to make any impact as well. This has seemingly killed Fall Out Boy's charting presence. And even if I really like Last of the Real Ones, I don't blame the general public for listening to Young and Menace and never listening to any follow-ups ever again. Hell, I don't think I'd blame someone for listening to this and just quitting the concept of music as a whole altogether. Gold might have felt like the whole thing was a misfire, but this was a way bigger misfire in every aspect. What the fuck, Fall Out Boy? Number 9.
Are you ready for it?
If you've seen either of my top 20 rankings, this one is really damn obvious.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do.
Oh, Ed, you've fallen so much. Actually, I'm allowed to blame the public as well. As you all probably know by now, Sheeran released 2 tracks at once, Shape of You and Castle on the Hill. Castle on the Hill being a beautifully crafted song with good detail, instrumentation, etc. And then there's Shape of You, which is an Ed Sheeran sex song. We didn't need this. In fact, I don't think anyone wanted this. I mean, once it came out, people clearly wanted it to some extent since it debuted at number 1 and clung to the top 25 for over 40 goddamn weeks. It's super dull and limp, and it's just a type of shit that's best to just forget about. But it clung to the radio like crazy, which sucks because this is the worst case of overplay I've ever heard. Not in amount necessarily, but that it does not hold up to the overplay in the slightest. I didn't hate this when I first heard it, but right now I think I'd be more than happy to literally never hear this song ever again. And it doesn't help that I've heard this song for more than a year. But this only came out in January, what are you saying? Yeah, about that. Yeah, this rips off Cheap Thrills a lot. Even if I don't care for Cheap Thrills, at least its beat isn't as dull as Ed's. Both songs actually started out as Rihanna songs, but neither of them got to the point where she'd take them, so they sang them and got their first #1 songs respectively. And if I thought Cheap Thrills was lame, man oh boy does Ed Sheeran prove me wrong. And a lot of that comes down to Ed Sheeran coming across as a goofy dork.
Last night you were in my room.
Hey, last night you were in my room. You were in my bed. I was in you. Owie!
Now my bedsheets smell like you.
I just imagine Ed inhaling his comforter like it's fresh blow. That detail is so stupid. We just look at you as a sheet sniffer now.
Fill up your bag and I fill up the plate.
I stand by that this restaurant doesn't have takeout boxes because it at least adds something interesting to this narrative. That says a lot, doesn't it? Ed, some of your biggest songs are the type that get played at weddings for years to come, so how are you this bad at a sex song? Like, it's weird to think that this dude's made songs that people have definitely gotten off to, and yet he can't even properly make one about him doing it. I mean, he's supposed to be poetic. I thought that was his whole appeal. But instead of being a poetic mastermind, we get shit like this.
Push and pull like a magnet do.
Push and pull like a magnet do. Like a magnet do. It would have worked the same way if you had just said push and pull like magnets do. God damn it, you're supposed to be a master songwriter, so what the hell is this shit? But when the lyrics aren't questionable, it paints a certain picture.
We're going out on our first date. Talk for hours and hours and how your family's doing okay.
That's not the shit you do on a first date. You do that years into the relationship once it's lost most of its spark. But based on the instrumentation in this song, it never had a spark. Actually, wait a second. This literally has no spark. Like, not just the song itself, but Sheeran as a whole feels no spark. Like, look at these lyrics. I'm in love with your body. Tell the taxi driver to turn the radio up. Is your family okay? There's nothing here. Ed doesn't like this girl. He just likes the sex and how her body looks. That's why this instrumentation sucks. That's why there's such a void of any color. The relationship doesn't have any. It all makes sense now. It fits together. That doesn't mean it's in the clear. Ed's clearly just in it for the sex, and the limp dancehall tropical house production just makes this shit insufferable. And we let this 2016 wannabe hit become the biggest hit of the goddamn year. In a year full of such variety, we let the one straight out of 2016 top everything. Lame.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
Number 8.
Are you ready for it?
Just because they made an admittedly good song doesn't mean we need to give them a follow-up.
Know some young niggas like to swear.
And this is from the deluxe edition of that album, since the label didn't think a track on the standard edition would work well. But somehow they thought this was a good substitute. Honestly, I almost didn't put this on the list because it's obviously bad and I wouldn't likely get that long of a segment out of it. But no way in hell am I just leaving this filth off the list. The standard trap beat mixed with the annoying dreary synth horns just makes this hard to listen to. And that's before we even get to Sway Lee's falsetto. And oh my god! No, this is like a dog yelping. The song just feels so empty in content. Black Beatles was at least able to set up enough of an atmosphere to avoid that problem. I almost put Rolex by Ayo and Teo on this list for being blatant ripoffs of Ray Shrimmer, which is not a good thing. But why go with a ripoff when you can complain about the genuine article, especially when they deserve it way more? Screw this garbage, I'd be happy to never even think about it again. Number 7.
Are you ready for it?
In retrospect, I don't think One Direction was that bad. They had a relatively good catalog, and ignoring that one song that started all of this, I can't feel any hate towards their music anymore. So, when they all went their separate ways, it was interesting to see what directions they'd go into and who would become the next Justin Timberlake. Zayn made bland R&B that left little impact on the charts besides the #1 debut. Niall made boring folk pop that I tend to just forget about as a whole. Louis made EDM-leaning tracks that were surprisingly solid. And Harry made really good classical rock music out of nowhere and practically blew everyone back. But then there's Liam, who took the next Justin Timberlake thing a little too seriously.
You know I love it when the music's loud, but come on, strip that down for me.
The song is trying so hard to be a 2006 Justin Timberlake song to the point where it kinda hurts. Except at the same time, it's using more outdated sounds from a more recent time. It has those DJ Mustard-style gang vocals, never mind the snap paired with the faintest piano twinkle. It just sounds so outdated, and the sexual content is just not sold well. Yeah, Liam's from a boy band. So was Justin Timberlake, but he was easily able to sell that confidence. Liam, on the other hand, just can't do it. It doesn't help that he references that damn boy band in what is supposed to be a strip club anthem.
I used to be in one deep, now I'm free.
What the hell are you doing, you idiot? The other members were smart enough to know not to say that. Like, it's literally so out of place, it's the most memorable line of the damn song because of how bad it is. And then right after that, you get these conflicting lines.
People want me for one thing, that's not me. I'm not changing the way that I used to be.
He literally goes from saying that everyone wants him to be this one fun, sweet boy band kid, and that's not who he is, to then immediately say he's not changing who he is. What the fuck? Like, I cannot be the only one who thinks that's fucking stupid, right? Oh, and back onto the whole rip-off Justin Timberlake thing. Remember how Timberlake would have those little ad-libs from either Timbaland or Pharrell? Here's Liam Payne's version. Apparently this is Ed Sheeran who helped write the song, but obviously his voice is altered here. It's not a good replacement. And then there's Quavo. This verse is the definition of lazy. So in the spirit of that, I'm literally just going to use the audio for my fall ranking. Quavo. Honestly, you can relate this feature to the one Kendrick Lamar gave on Don't Wanna Know by Maroon 5. It's super basic. Literally any rapper could have easily done this verse, and it still would have been the exact same result. Seriously, this is 15 seconds. Forget what I said about congratulations. This is the definition of having a feature for the sake of having a feature. Yeah, I addressed that pretty well. God, my fall ranking was 100 times better than my summer one. Not the point. Overall, this song's really bad, and Overplay just made this all way worse because yeah, this got to the top of the airplay charts, and this wasn't even the worst thing he released this year.
Get up, get up.
Actually, wait a minute, I like Zed's production here, I don't really mind.
I like the way you touch yourself.
Oh, fuck you, Liam Payne.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Are you ready for it?
Yo Gabba Gabba.
I tell all my hoes, rake it up.
I really don't like this, and I've already expressed most of my complaints already. Yo Gotti is as boring and generic as ever. Nicki Minaj rhymes China with itself 5 times, as well as vagina. Not to mention the production, which has a compressed sub-bass loop that you can barely hear, and yet it finds a way to be obnoxious and nothing at all, literally all at once. Overall, it's just bland nothingness, and quite frankly, it'll probably be more effective to just say it's bland and dumb and just forget it exists. Let's not let Yo Gotti get another hit unless it actually has quality in it. That applies to you too, Minaj. Now, let's continue on in forgetting this exists. Number 5.
Are you ready for it?
It is pretty interesting to see how many child stars have become huge pop stars in recent years. Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato. I mean, all of them have been relatively prominent since they left the TV realm. Hell, all 4 of them were in the top 10 at one point or another in this year. And where half of them were relatively mediocre, one of them haunted me for the month-ish that it was big. And of course, it was Miley's song.
In Malibu.
I don't know if this is gonna be controversial or not. I don't care. I fucking hate this. I've hated this since the moment I first heard it. After Miley had huge success with her Bangers album, specifically We Can't Stop and Wrecking Ball, she hadn't released anything major until now. Of course, she did release her follow-up on SoundCloud called Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets, and...
Why they put their dick in the pussy?
Ah! This type of acoustic music does not fit her voice in the slightest, and her energy as well for that matter. The electric guitar line makes a nice melody in theory, but it's so weakly mixed in with the kick drum and bass guitar that it just feels so unfinished. And then there are the lyrics that are honestly just forgettable at best. Majority of them are about Liam Hemsworth, aka her fiance or husband, I don't really know, and honestly I don't care enough. Also there's this.
Next to you.
The first time I heard that lyric, this is what immediately came to my mind.
'Cause I'll be next to you, masturbating.
If your top 40 hit has a lyric that is genuinely executed better in every single way in a comedy song, that says a lot about the quality of your writing. Listen, Miley, I'm happy that you were able to make your relationship with Liam Hemsworth work, but how about you fuck him and not my ears? Number 4.
Are you ready for it?
As much as I hate Malibu, at least it's more of a country song than the actual biggest country hit of the whole year.
Body like a back.
Seriously, this is not country. Fake percussion, a guitar line that's trying way too hard to have some type of funky groove, and remember the gang vocals and Strip That Down? They're here too!
I'ma take it slow.
But as bland as that is, that's not the problem here. In fact, I'd be willing to say the instrumentation could be far worse than it is. If the title isn't any indication already, the lyrics to this are ridiculously bad. Although you would have to be oblivious and or naive to not get that vibe out of a title, comparing a body to a fucking back road.
I know every curve like the back of my hand.
The main argument in favor of this song is that he's not directly comparing this girl's body to a disgusting back road, but that he knows them about the same. But here's the problem with that argument. So, you know her body like a back road, which you typically tend to go on when the main road is busy, and since you're invoking this small town image, you typically aren't in some busy city, or even a busy town for that matter. You're probably going to use the main road a lot of the time to go from one place to another. So Sam, is this your way of telling us you don't know where the clitoris is? It's okay, I can teach you off of this cloister.
Had to get her number. Took me like 6 weeks.
I buy that. You're a doofus and you try hitting on this girl for weeks and you eventually break her and she gives you that pity date. And then you say something really stupid and then you get wine that you have to pay for thrown in your face. And trust me, Sam Hunt would definitely say something stupid. This song is full of him saying stupid shit after all.
Every inch is a mile.
Oh, so is that why you say your dick is 2 miles?
Why she fitting in blue jeans? She don't need no belt, but I can turn them inside out.
In what way are you taking her jeans off so that they turn inside out? That seems like more work than just simply taking them off.
I know every curve like the back of my hand.
So this line is implying that he's going to get through the foreplay for her pleasure as quickly as he can, so they can start full-on boning, yeehaw! I hope you drive off of a cliff, you beef-headed buffoon. Apparently this is just like every other Sam Hunt song, and I am so happy I have never heard another Sam Hunt song. Biggest country hit of the year, I'm appalled. Number 3.
Are you ready for it?
Back onto the topic of things I don't like doing on these lists, tying songs. To me it can feel like a cop-out of the top 10 formula to not leave out that 11th or 12th song that you just want to tear apart. But for this I have 2 solid enough reasons for them to tie together. 1, the songs are both by the same artist, and 2, both of them aren't even fully fledged songs. They both clock in around 2 minutes each. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I bet you was your mess, ayy. Can't keep my dick in my pants.
XXXTentacion managed to clock both of these songs into the top 40 for 2 weeks, so I'm in the clear to talk about both of them. I'm gonna start with Jocelyn Flores since it's the one I have the most to say, and also Look At Me was bigger, so I'll address it last. I'll start with the format of this since it's a mess. You have a sampled intro, then going directly into the bridge, then going into the verse, then what's labeled as the chorus, and then the outro, which is just a sampled intro again. Talk about an unconventional structure. The song felt like a mess, and looking at the setup, you can tell it is. But then you get to the content, and this is going to be difficult to talk about. Jocelyn Flores, the girl this song is named after, was a girl that XXXTentacion was with that unfortunately killed herself.
Girl that you fuck with, kill herself.
Oh, come on. The girl killed herself. You could use a better set of words to... forget it. XXX Texture Pack goes on to talk about the guilt and anger that no one tried to help her, and he hates himself for it. He wishes he could have done something to prevent her from killing herself. Now, where's the problem in that? I put 1-800-273-8255 in my great tier on that fall ranking video, so why is this on the worst list? Because XXX Tesla Motors is full of bullshit. He's not upset about it because he misses her or anything. How do I know that? Well, XXX Texas Roadhouse posted this to his Instagram story after her death. In this, he questions if she thought about him when she did it, and how she was, quote, strong enough to kill herself when he hadn't been able to for years. He complains about a hole she left in his heart, and ends the whole post by saying, I hate you all, I hate you Jocelyn. XXX tentacle porn. Fuck you! Any amount of sorrow this song could have given you is completely destroyed by this post. The audacity it takes to tell a girl that killed herself that you hate her is fucking atrocious. Especially since you tried to play it off by saying that it hurt, when in reality, you're just mad that she was able to kill herself before you could. And what's even worse is you can tell XXXTension Cord doesn't even really care about Jocelyn since he barely references her. She's used as a prop in XXXtra Fry's depression story, which is super self-absorbed by the way. A song like this cannot afford to be lackluster, and anyone who thinks 1-800-273-8255 is deserving for their worst list, you better list this gross garbage as well. And none of this would even be relevant if we didn't give XXX 10th Doctor a hit before the 17 album dropped. In comes Look at Me. By the way, I'm not using the Look at Me video, not worth it.
Taking my dick in my pants.
Now, lyrics are technically irrelevant in songs like this since it's just meant to be a club banger, but I'm a critic, I'm not gonna just ignore lyrics. And what an obvious club banger this is. The droning production mixed with distorting bass just makes this annoying sound that is this whole song. And even if the lyrics are bad, it doesn't fully matter since it's hard to make any of them out due to this beat. But those lyrics are certainly something.
That little bitch got a throat, fuck.
Okay, I don't think I need to analyze that one.
I put a hole in your parents.
Okay, he's threatening to kill my parents. That's at least a little hard. I can at least... What? For those of you who don't know, which includes me before I look this up, the Corbin mentioned in this song is Corbin from High School Musical. XXX Tennis Balls goes from killing my family to referencing a fucking Disney Channel original movie. Must I say anything more? I can't wait for 2018 to hopefully just drop XXX Tyrannosaurus Rex off and just leave him behind. His songs are also underdeveloped and lackluster, and with the topics he tries addressing on that recent album, that's such a fucking problem. Fuck you, XXX Central Crisis. Fuck you. Number 2.
Are you ready for it?
Here's the moment you've all known was coming. Some of you might have thought it would top this list because of how I addressed it before and how is it to appear on the list at all. But no, I'm not that predictable just yet.
I don't like your...
This sucks a lot. What really sucks is that I actually remember being super excited for this. After 1989 came out and had some fantastic tracks like Wildest Dreams and Style especially, I was really excited to see Taylor progress off of that. But instead, she went back to the pop music that was coming out around the time she was just a country music star. Despite using the popular trap music of 2017, this song strongly sounds like the utter garbage the Black Eyed Peas would have released around 2009. It has that same clunky and obnoxious feel to it due to its production, which you could tell me will.i.am made and I'd fucking believe you at this point. It's so messy and it just has moments where they do random shit. But avoiding the production at the moment, we should address the controversy that led to all of this, shouldn't we?
But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time!
Yes, it goes back this far. Chances are you definitely know about this incident by now, so let's skip ahead a little bit. Taylor and Kanye ended up on really good terms around 2015-ish, and she even presented Kanye with his MTV Vanguard Award. But then this happened.
I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous.
This sent a shockwave through pop culture, and Taylor of course detested the lyric and everything seemed to realign from before 2015. But then something big happened. Kanye's wife Kim Kardashian leaked recordings on Snapchat of Taylor Swift on the phone with Kanye, approving that lyric.
I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex.
Go with whatever line you think is better. It's obviously very tongue-in-cheek either way. And I really appreciate you telling me about it. That's really nice.
Now, this sent everyone into a chaotic frenzy. Taylor lied about not hearing the lyrics beforehand, and she was caught red-handed. Her Instagram comments soon flooded with the snake emoji, and that animal soon became a nickname for her by the general public, including yours truly. And look, it's Taylor Swift. And then there was silence. But besides a few weaker rebuttals, we hadn't heard from Taylor in quite some time until she wiped her social medias clean and started posting snake gifs. This made many people, including myself, really excited. Taylor was going to own up to everything, admit she was a snake. Nope!
Oh, look what you made me do.
And guess what? All that dumb tabloid drama is insanely relevant to all of this. This song is Taylor's reaction to all of that. And talk about putting your elbow forward. She can't even attack him back because she has nothing. That's why a lot of this is vague bullshit. Taylor isn't innocent in the slightest here. Her good girl reputation got shattered in the matter of minutes. So with all of that covered, let's get to the lyrics.
Don't like your tilted state.
So this is a direct reference to Kanye's St. Pablo tour stage, which Taylor apparently has a problem with. I mean, I don't fully blame her. I mean, look at that thing. That's such a safety hazard.
Role you made me play the fool.
Taylor, what the fuck are you talking about? No one made you lie about never hearing a lyric, and them showing proof of your lie doesn't equate to you being forced to play a fool. It actually just outright proves you are a fool.
Don't like your perfect crime.
If it was a perfect crime, there wouldn't be room for error, and the fact that this got enough traffic to go to #1 at the rapid pace it did proves that the crime wasn't perfect. If it was, this would have failed on the spot, and man, do I wish it did.
Said the gun was mine.
Okay, the setup with this line is weird. Taylor said in an interview that her biggest fear is being framed. Now, this line is specifically directed at a tweet Kanye made saying this line was her idea. Now, the audio says otherwise, so I don't know why Kanye said this, but that shouldn't be the main takeaway from what I just said. Taylor, you weren't really framed over having nothing to do with the lyric. You were proven to know about the lyric before Famous's release. This argument has so far been the most valid, but it's still easy to argue. That's the big problem with all of this. It's easy to argue her points if you aren't a blind Swiftie willing to suck her clit.
But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time.
Okay, to debunk that you got harder.
Are you my baby Wolverine? Are you the princess of Meowtown? Are you just a melting snowman?
Oh, and if you were smarter, this song wouldn't sound like dog shit.
Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time.
This lyric is apparently in correlation to Katy Perry's obvious diss track towards Taylor's Swish Swish, specifically the another one in the casket line. So Taylor, this line admits Kanye did kill you, and that you were able to rise past it. Ah shit, that helps their argument, doesn't it? Okay, fine, give Taylor a point.
I got a list of names and yours is in red underlined.
That's fucking highlighter, you dumbass! How the fuck did no one notice this? Oh my—
I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh.
Okay, I'm Santa Swift, and you've been a naughty girl this year. Fuck off.
Ooh, look at what you made me do.
If any of you are confused as to why this sounds familiar and you somehow don't recognize it yet, here you go.
Ooh, look what you made me do.
Too sexy for my shirt.
Look what you made me do.
It hurts.
Taylor sampled I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. You know, this fact originally outraged me the most, but honestly, I'd rather listen to I'm Too Sexy over this any day of my life. That should say a lot.
The world moves on another day, another drama.
Here's something that bugs me a lot. Yeah, people move on from these dramas really damn quickly. Most people stop caring about this after like 3 weeks, but you were clearly so upset about it that this song happened. Hell, following lyrics in this verse show that.
All I think about is karma.
Listen, I believe in karma, but I don't have something bad happen to me and then sit alone in a corner acting like a goddamn psychopath repeating things about how they'll get the karma that they deserve. That's unhealthy. Almost as unhealthy as listening to this!
Look what you made me do.
God, this chorus just makes me want to burn my ears off. Honestly, I'm done with this. There's nothing that can be said beyond this that will evoke any more from me. This song is just really bad.
The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? 'Cause she's dead.
Fuck you. The old Taylor is not dead. The 1989 album conformed to the 80s throwback style of 2014 to 2015, and Reputation just conforms to the trap trend in rap. You are still going out and acting like the same person as before, you're generally making the same decisions you did as before, and the only difference here is that way less people trust you because you were caught being manipulative and lying in an attempt to smear someone else's career. Taylor, you made one of my favorite songs of the decade, but you cannot keep deflecting this shit for much longer, because people are gonna stop caring about you. And after how hard this song dropped from the top of the charts, I think the public is finally starting to learn. That or it's your fault for shitting on streaming platforms. Actually, the moral of either scenario is stop being a fucking moron.
Look what you just made me do.
Okay, before I get to #1, here are some of my dishonorable mentions.
I will be right by your side.
Shut up. I've never been crazy on Gaga, but this is fucking awful. Holy shit.
You're giving me a million reasons to let you go.
Is this sad? Is it mature? Is it triumphant? Is it boring? I have an answer for one of those.
Bon appetit, baby. Appetite for seduction.
What the fuck was that?
For your sister, then make sure that she vanished.
Must I say any more?
Then it's my body wanting it the most, like,
Oh god, what the fuck?
Can we be friends?
Blood Pop did a great job in the instrumentation here, but like, Bieber needs to shut up.
I'm free to be the greatest, I'm a liar.
And the world's most incorrect title goes to...
oh, I'm trying.
A good bass line can only do you so much. Also this.
Oh, baby, let's make.
No! Miley Cyrus, as a whole. Everything she's dropped, even if none of it was eligible. Make Me with Labyrinth, Stay Together, I'm Stuck, Almost Famous, again featuring XXX Dream Volleyball, especially that one. Thank God we never let her take off. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1.
Ready for it.
So, after all that, what the hell's at number 1? Because despite everything I've said until this point, most of these songs aren't outright offensive, disgusting, or stomach-churning. Those songs infuriate me, and they do fill me with anger, don't get it twisted, but none of these songs infuriate me to a point where I just want to scream my lungs out. Just for preference, number 5 on my 2016 worst list is When That Feeling came in. I've known this song was going to top this list all year, and although Taylor and XXX Tortellini put up one hell of a fight, in the end of the day, I cannot in good consciousness ignore this any longer. Fuck you, Kodak Black. I don't care if this is an obvious number 1, it's obvious for a reason. Lyrics is the main aggravation here, so before we get to those, let's start with the production on this song, and I don't like it. Metro Boomin's nauseating beat is so slow that when it's paired with Kodak Black's drudging flow, it's just insufferable. And even if this song has decent enough flute work, it's not like Mask Off where the flute allows it to be ever so slightly less worse. But that leads us into the content, and oh boy.
That money made me come and made me fornicate.
Damn, I knew people were crazy about money, but I didn't think it was this bad. Although perhaps for being able to do that on command, I guess? Or is he saying that he involuntarily... I don't want to know, actually.
On this shit, I need some toilet paper.
Poop Joke, 2017 top 10 hit. And we're still making... No, fuck you. People of color have had such a hard time due to unfair racism in the past, and you're just trying to justify your actions by... Okay, this isn't relevant. Your criticism comes down to the art itself, not the artist as a person, no matter how shitty they are. Hell, maybe he wasn't even getting at that. Maybe it's just about something else. Move on, Prep.
On the real, I need a bitch who gon' cooperate.
Oh, a girl who can cooperate. Yeah, like one that you don't need consent for... No, it's just a shitty line showing that he's an ass. I don't need to talk about that. Move on.
I get in the girl I want, in the girl I want.
Okay, now this line is weird. Now this whole verse, Kodak flubs rhymes like crazy. Rhyming wraith with cape, with bay, with fornicate, with paper, that when it goes pay, per, okay, and cooperate. But within that is this line. And the delivery is weird too. It's clearly the same recording repeated twice. Listen to it again, it's exactly the same in every way.
I get in the girl I want, in the girl I want.
It's weird. I mean, again, he flubs rhymes a lot, but this isn't even close. It's a different level of it.
I get in the girl I want, I don't gotta rate.
Fine. Let's talk about Kodak Black's sexual assault charges. I really don't want to talk about this kind of thing. XXX Terminate is accused of awful shit as well, but it's not relevant to talk about in my criticism since it's a third-party thing. Like, I'm not going to give shit to Chris Brown in 2017 because he beat up Rihanna while talking about, say, pills and automobiles. No, I'm gonna give him shit over that song because it's fucking awful. However, Black's charges are clearly prevalent in the lyrics here, so I guess I have to. So, trigger warning, I guess. So, in February of 2016, Kodak Black reportedly brought back a female fan to his hotel room after a show in South Carolina, where he proceeded to tear her clothes off, bite her repeatedly, and then from there he raped her while she screamed, apparently. The fact that he isn't in jail for this is absolutely disgusting, and before you try to say, these allegations could be fake, you don't know. Yeah, he was fucking indicted for it. So he almost definitely raped a girl. And before trial happened for it, he released this song that is clearly trying to deflect his charges onto a racist system. With a line that originally said he could get any girl he wants, he doesn't have to rape rape. And that line was edited out in such a way that you could tell it was just the label trying to cover face, and not Kodak Black's own judgment to fix it. It's the disgusting arrogance that deserves the bottom spot. Kodak Black, I hope the system finally puts you in jail, and you proceed to get the shit kicked out of you while you're in there. Fuck you! But, with all that said and done, that's the 2017 worst list. Stay tuned for the best list, which I'm more excited for than I was to make this because man, this year had some great shit. And it does not need to be represented by the disgusting crap like Kodak Black. I'll see you in a couple weeks, if not next week.
Good night, everybody!
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to see a video just like this, there's a link in the end card. And if you would like to see a series currently going on Let's Talk Gaming, there's a playlist for that right there. I'm also very, very active on Twitter, so if you could go over there and give me a follow, I would honestly really, really appreciate it. I'm usually talking about music stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.